3 pack bearers whose ideals have been shattered, with 3 more who have to the TSC gathered. Yet there's one more remaining on the loose, and this is the video where they'll be introduced. Greed is the ego in which they thrive, and onto the dorms will we survive? Though that may be a question many will ask, perhaps the most pressing is who will be up to the task. For in this chapter we are presented our first choice on who to be depended. Though it may not come as a surprise to most, a twist in the story is soon coming for Vanity's host. But whomever you choose, it's all up to you. Picking the one you like will most certainly do. But before I say too much, let me just reiterate. Trigger warnings still apply, it's no time to celebrate. So on we go to the act that Twilight recalls, and the promise made before that ill-gotten call. So now that we have all 4 recruitable characters gathered in the TSC club room, what is next in Monarch's tale? Well, with the 3 of the other pack bearers also out of commission and counting the 3 that are members of the True Student Council, it's time we finally deal with the remaining 1. What's up, girls and boys? What's up, internet? I am Bianca, and welcome to our 5th spoiler-free Monarch walkthrough video. So, like I've mentioned in Shinya's first chapter, this current chapter we will be diving into will immediately start the moment his ends. And as that long cutscene that heralded this chapter states, our first priority to get the ball rolling is to visit the dean in her office. So, let's go ahead and do just that. Once you enter Dean Sora's office, an event will immediately trigger, which, to be honest, contains dialogue that raises a lot of red flags in regards to our partnership with the Dean. Sora will also inform us of the last remaining pack bearer, the pack bearer of Greed. When the cutscene ends, leave the Dean's office and don't bother exploring it since you won't find anything noteworthy. And head back to the TSC club room for another cutscene that triggers as soon as you enter. After explaining and sharing what the Dean has told you, you'll be given the option to choose which of your 4 companions you would want to bring with you as your partner for this act. Despite what Vanitas may say, this choice bears no bearing on the general flow of the story, so you can pick whomever you want based on your playstyle of choice or which among the 4 is your favorite. So don't you worry too much about it. I'll let you guys know if and when we actually get to the point where our choices does matter. So yeah, speak with whomever you want to be your companion when the cutscene ends. I personally went with Nozomi since I wanted one more character apart from my Greed Legion who can heal. Remember, however, to level up whomever you pick, especially if it's one of the earlier characters who are under-leveled at this point. If you talk to Vanitas at this point, he'll give you another special psych test. Sadly, this is going to be the last one we get from him. It is a long one though, with 31 questions in total. So have fun answering. At the end of the quiz, Vanitas will also give you a chance to pick 2 of the 7 cards he have, each representing an ego. Whatever card you pick will have that ego increased. With a quiz done, and with your companion in tow, head out of the main building and make your way to Central Street. Walk past the club building, and near the end of this road, you will see a gate on your right. That gate will lead you to the Memorial Garden. Moving close to it will trigger a cutscene with your current companion. After that short cutscene, enter the gate to the garden and wait for Vanitas to give you the phone number to the depths. Call the number to be sent to the Precipice of Greed 1, where level 26 to 32 enemies await you. The map contains no gimmicks whatsoever, and the Singularity spawns close to where your units start off. Deal with them however you please and destroy the Singularity afterwards to stop the death calls and give yourself an easier time exploring the gardens. From where Vanitas is, follow the path until you reach an intersection. Take the eastern path and follow it to where a student is standing in front of a memorial. That is Shiori Fujiwara, and she has the key to the dormitory gates, but she is only willing to part with it if you hear her out and tell her who the scratch-off name in the memorial belongs to. Check the memorial after speaking with her and make note of the final student ID. Also, how creepy is it to see Reiko Inza's name there when we have spoken with her in the first year's building and got her profile during Kokoro's act? Anyways, with that student ID, leave the gardens and head for the second year building. Once there, make your way to room 2B found in the first floor, which is the same class Shiori is in. In that room, interact with the note by the desk with a vase on it. It's a note Chiyo Aikawa left. Yep, our Chiyo. I think you guys can guess who the flowers are for, but that sure does open up a lot of questions, and it's one we already have half the answer for, but it does leave us the other half of the mystery. But yeah, I can't discuss further what that is considering this is our spoiler-free guide. But anyways, the note contains several hints if you squint, but the one we need is the note's title, Rosemary. With that, head to the computer lab on the third floor and input the student ID from the memorial as the username and Rosemary as the password. You will get the information on Takamori Suzuki. With that, head back to the memorial garden and to where Shiori is and let her know. She will now hand over the key to you, so make your way back to the intersection and down the southern path. Keep going south until you can get to the gate that you can now open with the key you got. Along the way, make sure you get the following items. Once you're past the gate, you will find the phone call to the first ideal near the entrance of the dorm building. Make your preparations before answering the call and being whisked to the depths. In this battle, you will be fighting against 7 enemies with levels ranging from 26 to 32. Your units will also be spawned in different locations in groups of 3 and 2. There are no gimmicks in this battle, so just take your time picking off the enemies. It shouldn't take too long provided you have leveled up accordingly. Once this battle is clear, the mist in the garden will dissipate along with the remnants of the pack bearer's first ideal. You will also be teleported back to the club room. Once you've talked with everyone within, confronting Chiyo about the flowers she left if you want and being given a curious response, leave the room to trigger another cutscene that will immediately bring you to the infirmary. Get your med gauge lowered and replenish your supplies after these events before heading to the dormitory. Once you enter the gate, another cutscene will play. Wait for Vanitas to drop the number to the depths. Deal with the Singularity along with the level 28 to 32 enemies in the precipice of Greed 2 before attempting to explore. In this second singularity battle, you will be introduced to this area's gimmick, which are these gates that teleport units standing near it to a different yet connected area or island after the player's turn. Try not to get accidentally transported by yourself and you should be fine, since the teleporters in this battle are pretty straightforward, with the first one in front of where your units spawn directly teleporting you to where the singularity is. Once the singularity has been dealt with and you are back at the mist-infested dorm building, explore around to obtain the following. Now head to room 108, which will have a clock in it. Make note of what the time is. Then on room 104, where the red note hint can be found, will be a locker. The locker combination is 0915, and this locker will give you the note Memo Fertile Ground 4. The key you will need to progress will be locked away in another locker, which can be found on the southeastern part of the map. Input the time from the clock you took note of in room 108. With the key, open either doors to the cafeteria where the call to the ideal can be found. Make sure you are prepared before heading in. In the second ideal battle, you will be met with the widest battle map that we have encountered thus far, along with enemies ranging from level 28 to 32. The same teleport gate gimmicks is also present here. Again, take your time in this battle. The goal, as always, is to defeat all the enemies, and it's better to send your units together than apart, unless you are pretty confident with their battle prowess and are over-leveled. The teleporter in front of you will send you to the northeastern island, which has 3 teleporters as well. In this island, the teleporter to the south will bring you back to the initial island, while the one at the east will send you to the island beside the initial one you started off in. The one to the west will transport your units to the northwestern island. The other 2 remaining teleporters will just loop you to either the northwestern island or the one beside the initial one. Apart from that, there is nothing much to say in this fight. Once the battle is won, you will be whisked back to the main building with the knowledge of just how powerful the Pack Bearer of Greed is. A cutscene will immediately trigger as well, with the party everyone was planning now in full swing. After that really interesting and long cutscene, you'll be taken back to the TSC club room where you will have to speak with everyone to progress. After which, head to the infirmary to trigger another cutscene. Be sure to get Neko to lower your mad gauge for you while you're here and make the necessary preparations before making your way back to the dorms. Along the way, particularly in Central Street, make sure to obtain the following new profiles. When you get to the gate, you will trigger a cutscene. Enter the building proper and explore the mist-free area to obtain the following profiles. Once you're ready, head downstairs. The moment you get close to the stairs, you will trigger a short cutscene. Proceed down and into the mist-infested basement. Cue another cutscene showing just how dense the mist is in this place. It might be a little hard to navigate, but it's really not that bad. Again, wait for Vanitas. If it doesn't trigger, if it doesn't give it to you immediately, move around a little bit and return to his spot, and that should do the trick. Once you get the number, jump into battle where you will meet level 29 to 32 enemies and the usual teleport gate gimmick. The map is basically a repeat of Precipice of Greed 2, with your units being separated into 2 groups as well in this fight. Again, as long as you're leveled up beforehand, this fight shouldn't be too hard to deal with. Shattering the singularity will allow you to freely explore without the fear of the death calls happening. Be sure to obtain the following items while you're out exploring. If you read the red note plastered on the wall, you will learn that the spare key is located below Pride. To find said key, head back to the main building and to the infirmary. Look at where the pack bearer of Pride is and you will find a shining spot there. That is the key. This is by far the easiest riddle to date. Also, read the other red notes for some more interesting lore stuff. Once you've gotten the key, head back to the dorm basement and open the door to the chapel where the call to the final ideal and the battle against the pack bearer of greed and their monarch awaits. In this battle, your units will spawn at 2 different locations, and you will also have to deal not only of the teleporter gates, but of the other gimmicks you've encountered throughout your various romps against the other pack bearers. Enemies are level 28 to 32, with the pack bearer being at level 34 and the monarch at 36. Surprisingly, the pack bearer doesn't immediately or at all use resolve when the battle starts, so you may want to find another way to get your awaken gauge up if you plan to use your specials. Again, be sure to deal with the legion enemies first before attempting to fight against the pack bearer and the monarch, just to make the battle easier. Note that both teleporters in the starting island where your units spawn will teleport them to the same island, albeit in different locations. While the teleporter to the north past the Charm Corruptor gimmick will teleport your units to where the pack bearer and monarch of greed are. Be careful not to get turned around, which was what happened to some of my units and made the battle last for much longer for me than it should have. Now, the battle against the monarch and the pack bearer themselves won't be too hard, considering there is a healing light gimmick near where they are located, and you can just camp there while you attack them. Just make sure they themselves aren't within its radius. As for attacks, the monarch has the Dimensional Rift attack, which is a long-range AoE attack that deals a decent amount of damage. This is the attack that it frequently used on me as I was playing through this game. The pack bearer is a bit of a pacifist here, as they won't attack unless you are really close, and they will use recover to heal up their monarch from, time to time. They also seem to prefer basic attacks like slash to deal damage, although they do have the blind slide slash, which is an attack that teleports them to the back of their target. I ended up losing a unit in this fight because I got lost and had 2 of my other units missing in most of the boss battle. Once the battle is won, watch the scene that unfolds, which is a really interesting one that closes this chapter. Like before, the next chapter will begin as soon as this one ends, but that chapter is something we'll tackle in the next video. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope this guide proves useful, and I hope I'm still managing not to spoil anything important along the way. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments section or in our Discord server if you guys want. And I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you all for watching, and until then, you guys know the drill. Dream on, fly on. Bye bye for now. Keep safe, everyone.